All right, what's up, everybody? We're sitting down today with Bert Gonzalez. He is the founder of Indy Ball Jobs, and they're a group of individuals who are trying to help out the players who are trying to get some jobs in minor league baseball and independent baseball. So they got lots of showcases, and we're here to learn all about it and help you guys out, learn some more about it as well. So, Bert, how's it going today?
Going well, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Matt. Thank you guys for allowing me on here and talk about indie ball jobs and independent baseball. And yeah, I'm excited to be here and let's go.
Yeah. So you're the founder of Indy Ball Jobs. So we want to get into this a little bit and try and understand how you came about to found Indy Ball Jobs. What was the sort of the process behind that, and how you got to where you guys are today?
Well, yeah, I've been in independent baseball now. This is going on my 10th season. So I've been doing this a while, and early in my career, I was coaching at a bunch of different colleges in the off season. And I would always see some pretty good players out there. I coached at a Division II school, and I saw some pretty quality players where they could definitely play at the next level and the independent level. And one day I went to a pro day for only Division II schools in the Northeast, and I ended up finding this catcher. His name was Frank Nigro. Watched him catch at this showcase, and I thought it was spectacular. I thought for sure he was going to get drafted. I mean, there were scouts all over him. Months never spoke to him, and then I just remembered him. And months later, I coached for the High Point Rockers in the Atlantic League, and one of our catchers was signed, and we needed an emergency catcher right away up in York, Pennsylvania. And I was still so young at this point in my career where I didn't feel comfortable yet recommending players, especially for that kind of level and for somebody coming straight out of college. But they couldn't, the coaching staff, they couldn't find anybody, and I told my manager I may know somebody. I'm pretty sure he got drafted, but I'll make some phone calls. And long story short, he wasn't drafted. We brought him on for the weekend. We specifically told him it was only going to be for the weekend, and we'll help you find a different job somewhere else. He ended up playing really well. He stuck the whole year, and a year later, he was signed by the Minnesota Twins, and he's currently with them. He's in AAA, and that really started everything in a sense where if we could find somebody like that at this little hidden showcase, I mean, why can't we do that? And I always felt myself was a player that kind of fell through the cracks, and I ended up playing my professional baseball out in Europe, so I never had any opportunities here in the United States. So it was kind of accumulation of finding Frank Nigro and also kind of looking back where I started in my career and just try and help the next generation, and that's kind of how it all started, and here we are today.
So when was that you started or you coined the term Indie Ball Jobs? You made this like your uh not side hustle, because I know you're the bench coach for the High Point Rockers, but you
Yes.
made this into an actual business. When was that? When did you start that?
So I started in 2020 during the COVID year. The Rockers, our season was canceled, and there was a small league going on in the Frontier League in the Northeast. And I actually started my career with the New York Boulders, the Rockland Boulders at the time. I was hired to be their manager, so I managed there in 2020. And right from there, I struggled trying to find players early on to go into spring training. So I put together a few showcases, and I gave a lot of guys opportunities that would have never had an opportunity realistically if it wasn't for COVID. And I couldn't fly any players anywhere, so it was strictly in the Northeast. And I was able to sign Frank Nigro. So when I that was a 2019 season where we signed him in High Point. So I was able to sign him in 2020. So we just had a team full of just grinders, man, and we were super successful. And we made the playoffs, and we made a pretty good run. And yeah, so it realistically started in 2020, and we did our first official event that next fall of 2021, and we've been doing, one was the first year, then we did two, three, and now I think we have 6 or 7 events scheduled for 2024.
Awesome, awesome. So you got these showcases lined up, and you said seven now for 2024. That's a lot, honestly.
Yep.
Um, what does each of those showcases look like, either behind the scenes, the preparation for that, filing all or gathering in all the requests to come to your showcase and organizing it, setting up. What's that whole process look like?
Yeah, it's a full-time job, I'll tell you that much. Never did I think it would be like this. I think, going when I first started, I figured, we'll plan something and we could do it in a couple weeks from now or whatever the case is. But now it's getting much larger. We're getting about 80 to 100 players an event now, and each event is different in terms of the teams that we get coming in. But yeah, it's a grind trying to start it and organize it. We're trying to call as many teams as possible, trying to see if we can get some managers there, some coaches there. If not, kind of ask them what they're looking for, what their needs are. Gathering every single player's information. Something that a lot of people don't realize is where you actually live can actually affect whether you get signed or not. Obviously, independent baseball, it's lower market. So a lot of teams are always looking for that hidden gem that's local, where you don't have to worry about housing. So I try and organize that as well in terms of if I have a player knowing that he's from Jersey or New York, I can file that. So if I ever hear of the Jackals or the Boulders needing a local shortstop for the weekend or whatever, that's a good way for them to get their foot in the door. So even in High Point, for ourselves, I'll use that information to try and get some local guys. But there's that, and just trying to house the managers and coaches, finding a Airbnb or hotels and flights and, booking the fields and getting the scouts there. And then, it doesn't just end at the event. Uh, we continue to try and push these players and place them somewhere, especially if you showcase well and at the event, just a team just doesn't need your specific play. That doesn't mean you can't just play at the next level. So we still kind of try and help them and consult them and advise them where to go, and we'll still push their name, and we get teams reaching out to us all the time. So it's just easy to look at the list and send their information and hope they get signed, and then from there, we try and promote them as much as possible while they're playing. So we'll collect all their highlights throughout the season. So all those long bus trips, I used to sleep on those long bus trips all the time. Now I'm up and trying to find some highlights and videos and post it to the guys. And it doesn't just stop at Indy Ball. We're all in the business to not be an independent baseball, but to get to the big leagues. So we're trying to help these guys not only just get to independent baseball, but showcase themselves for that next level of affiliate ball. And who knows from there.
Yeah, it sounds like a grind. It's something we're all familiar here with at around the diamond because it's a daily grind
Absolutely.
to try and do this while balancing full time jobs as well and college for the other two guys, not myself, but still, it's a grind, that's for sure. Now you mentioned you had 7 this year. We had seen you had a Georgia showcase and then a Northeast showcase. What other locations did you add this year?
So we're going back to Georgia. Few weeks. But we're going back to the Northeast as well, but we're going to try and do an outdoor event. We've always stayed at a facility at PS2 Athletics in Jersey, which is a great facility. We're going to go there, continue to go there every single year, but we're trying to find a facility for right after the season in early October um, to try and see these guys outside in the Northeast because there's just so much talent up there, and it's kind of hard to judge inside a facility. But we're going over there. We partnered with a league. I don't want to say yet because it's not official, but we will be doing their official tryout in April. So just stay on the lookout for that. That's going to be pretty exciting for us, and trying to open up more doors for everybody else. And we also just partnered with the Glacier Range Riders of the Pioneer League, which is out in Montana, and we're going to do their official tryout in March in Arizona. So that'll be a whole new region of the country that we have not gone to, and we've gotten a lot of messages from guys in California and Utah and Nevada and Texas needing our help, and we figured why not just go out there and try and get these guys some opportunities. So super excited for that, and then we're gonna have a pre-draft workout, which we've done in the past in High Point, North Carolina, but we're trying to expand it a little bit more, and we definitely have some opportunities for college seniors that are undrafted this year. Just stay on the lookout for that event coming up. That'll be in July at our ballpark in High Point. which is a beautiful ballpark, and we're lucky to be there and be able to utilize that facility. And everybody that goes gets to come out to the game. The next day, you'll get a ticket, and you could see if you could really play at the next level. I mean, that would be your test right there. So, yeah, we're trying to venture out all over the place, and independent baseball is growing as well. It's not just us. So, and it's all over the United States, and just trying to open up those doors.
Yeah, you said you manage in the Atlantic League. Funny enough, Kyle and I, we live in Pennsylvania, not too far from York Revolution or the Lancaster Barnstormers. So,
So I didn't manage
um,
in the Atlantic League. I managed in the
base
Frontier League.
coach,
I'm the bench coach in the Atlantic League,
bench
but
coach.
yes, York,
Okay.
York and Lancaster, right? So I go there all the time, and love that area. It's good baseball, good little baseball town, and especially in Lancaster. But they beat us in the championship in 2022. So hopefully, and they're back to back champions, but hopefully we could change that this year.
Out for a little revenge, I guess.
Yes, sir.
So we'll open it up for questions for, of course, Kyle and Melo. They're loaded with some questions as well. So
Sure.
Melo, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Hey, Bert. Just a question. Just going over stuff information that we got. It said that you had over 100 players that have been signed since 2020, and you've had four that have been signed to an MLB affiliate. Just how satisfying is that? Because I know you like you said from the beginning, you were the founder of this, so you created all this. So just how satisfying is it to that these kids and these guys are getting a chance to continue to play the sport that they love so much?
Yeah, it is a dream come true. I mean, it is a great feeling. It doesn't get old, and it does get addicting to get these guys these opportunities and just see them, take it with stride, and a lot of them have made the best of their opportunities, and especially our four guys are in affiliate ball, and three of them are currently in affiliate ball. And yeah, man, I really can't explain it. But just to see them go out there and play, and just knowing that I found a kind of a purpose in the game of baseball, right? It can be pretty cutthroat, and the game could chew you up and spit you out at any point. And I have my own dreams as well, and I'm still doing this because I want to get to the big leagues one day. And you know, but if I could help somebody else get to the big leagues, I mean, to me, that's just as good, if not better. And not just one, but a bunch of them. So we're not going to stop, and we're going to continue. And we're still waiting for our first big leaguer, and I feel like it's going to be pretty soon when we get our first one, and that's going to be super special. And hopefully that one, that Frank Nigro, who I referred, and I always will, you know, he was just that one player, and that one player turned into 100. You know what I mean? So why not one big leaguer turn into 100 big leaguers? You never know. But it's definitely pretty awesome, and I do feel like I found some purpose within the game of baseball.
It's awesome. Melo, you got another one?
I did, but then it was answered already because I wanted to know because obviously you're doing stuff more East Coast. So then you mentioned how you got people in California. I'm from California, LA. So
Okay.
we were looking through the stuff, and I was like, well, are they gonna? That was gonna be one of my questions. When are you guys gonna? Are you guys ever considering coming out west? And obviously, you guys just answered that, and that's cool. Um, I
But
guess just to get us.
not just if you're going to go into that, but not just out west. I mean, obviously we're going to just try and go out there now. But I just got back from. I went to Mexico this off season. I went to Puerto Rico, and trying to I met with a lot of bench coaches and GMs over there for winter ball. So just trying to open up those doors as well. We have been talking to Asia, to Taiwan, Korea, Japan. I played professionally in Europe and Spain. My business partner, Anthony Cormato, he played in Italy for 3 years. So, we're not just trying to expand here in the United States, but we're just trying to find opportunities around the entire world, because there are some baseball opportunities around the world. Your career doesn't have to end after college. there are opportunities. You just have to find them, and luckily, with our network, and just our experience, we were able to grow that network there, and trying to open up these doors for these guys.
Kyle, what you got?
Yeah, so my biggest question for you is what is the most rewarding part of this, right? So we totally understand the grind and the behind the scenes kind of things that nobody really like bats an eye to. They don't really like understand that part of things. So I just want to know what's the most like rewarding part of starting this business or just your baseball career thus far?
Um, I guess it's doing it for my family in a sense. My ancestors came from Puerto Rico. My grandparents came from Puerto Rico with nothing. They worked hard for my parents, who were both New York City police officers, and my dad was a first responder in 9/11, who
Wow.
lost his life, and he baseball was our thing together, and this basically was his dream for me, and to be able to live that out for him has been a huge reward, and the logo is dedicated to him. It has my beard, but he was a switch
Wow.
hitting catcher, so that's why the catcher is left handed. So
So cool.
that, I guess that would be probably the biggest reward, is just knowing that I'm trying to live the life that my dad wanted out of me, and it's helping other players just like myself, and just grow the game of baseball. I love this game too, so just to be able to help grow it, and independent baseball has been great to me, and be able to help grow independent baseball as well. So I mean, there's a whole bunch of rewarding parts of it, and there's also the parts of the game and the job that's not too much fun. The grind, and just the pain, or whatever. You lose that last game of the year. But all the small things make it worth it.
You sort of hinted at it at the end there, but I gotta ask. One of my questions I had loaded here was, what's the hardest part of the job? I mean, we all know that indie ball and even affiliated like low A ball is a grind, and those players are have to be tough to continue to make it through to keep going up, or just be a career minor leaguer is a tough. It could be a tough life. So, what's your opinion on what's the hardest part of your job?
Well, yeah, it's definitely tough. We're not we're not making much money in this business. Especially in independent baseball. And I tell all the guys too that come to the showcase. One of the first, when I dress everybody, one of the first things I say is, "You better love it, man. You guys better love it, because it's hard. It's hard, and once I always say it's kind of easy getting in professional baseball as opposed to sticking around and staying, and then obviously making it to the highest stage of Major League Baseball. But the minor league grind is a real thing. The bus rides, 12, 13 hour bus rides just to go straight to the ballpark, just to play. Um, you know, the food. You're not going to have consistent meals all the time, and you just never. Every market's different. You have your low budget teams when you go in on the road, and it's just not pleasant. The clubhouse, isn't anything. You have a high school locker room that's better than what you're sitting in a sense, and you have to go out there and perform, and you got to perform great every single night, because there's somebody else there trying to get your job. So that constant pressure as well too. There's definitely a pressure there, and it's definitely not as simple as what people see on TV. I'll tell you that much. And even in the big leagues, you know what I mean. The pressure of just trying to stay around. I work with a lot of big leaguers as well now, and that's one of the things they say. It was easy to get there. It's hard to stay. And when you're really going to make significant money to change your life and change your family's life in a sense, it's hard. It's hard, and not too many people make it. So, but if you love it enough, and you want to go through that grind, then it's a fun life as well. I mean, I've had a blast, and I can go on and on and on for days about different stories that I've lived through, and the people that I've met, and the places that I've gone, because of baseball. So, if you're willing to get through that little difficult part of the game, it's definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah. Um, I gotta ask because you deal with a lot of different guys, I assume, at each different showcase. So, what's your relationship like with them? Like, how it starts? Is it them sending you a DM, like you referenced, or like we talked about a little bit earlier, or is it applying through email? Is it word of mouth? And then afterwards, I know you said you hinted at it a little bit, but what's your relationship with them after the showcase ends then?
So it's definitely a little bit of everything. We have guys reaching out. I'll get referrals all the time. Even players that we play against that were released and no longer have a job. So it's a little bit of everything. And then trying to speak to college coaches to see if they can get their players to the next level. If they have any players that can play at the next level, send them to these showcases. And then when I get there, when we're at the event, I really do try and get to meet each and every single guy and speak to them and hear their story. I always, when I address the whole group, I always let them know that, we are all approachable. Everybody on IndyBall Jobs is approachable. We love to hear your story. I'm a big story guy. I'm a big storyteller. So I'm always walking around the event and just trying to hear everybody out. Everybody has a story and then from there, I am pretty locked in on trying to find some talent as well. That's my job, and the guys that really stick out that I feel can play at the next level, and I feel like we can help. I'm going to stay in contact with them at all costs, and the phone calls and the texts after, and it becomes a family. And I was an only child, so I feel like a lot of these guys are kind of like the younger brothers that I never had. So I do keep in touch with a lot of them, and they'll send me videos all the time, and just trying to keep passing their information along and use my network and connections to just try and get them to that next level. And then from there, it's on them. That's what I always tell them. From there, it's on you, whatever you make of your opportunity. So it does become a family. And once you're in, you're in. A lot of the guys in the organization now that work at the events and everything came through our showcases. So it's not just coming to the showcase, get signed, and then that's it. You become part of it. And a lot of the guys, they love coming back and working the events and speaking to the next generation of guys. And also, I'll always, like for example, a Tyler Blum who's playing for Quebec. I'll text him, hey, there's Jimmy Costin. He's part of IndyBall Jobs. You're playing against him tonight. Make sure you say hello and you introduce yourself. And then they become friendly and that's kind of how it's been working. It's been great, and I know a lot of guys have been having a lot of fun with it too, especially once they start playing against each other and get to know each other. So, yeah, it just becomes a big family.
Yeah, Bert, I also have to ask. So I personally was never good enough to go that route on the field, but on the media side of things, it is hard to stay motivated. Especially when there are hard times that you're going through, that your business is going through. I want to ask, how do you yourself stay motivated to just keep going? Because you still have yet to reach your ultimate goal. Or honestly, like even the guys at your showcase, how do you motivate them personally?
Just for the next guy, you know what I mean. Just try and stay motivated for the next one that's coming up, and for myself, it's just I still want to be in the big leagues, and one of my dreams is to be a big league bullpen catcher. My playing career is long gone, but I can still catch. That's how I pretty much got into independent baseball. Uh, Early in my career in the United States was being a bullpen catcher. So that's my ultimate goal, and I know I can still do it, and I can still do it at a high level. And I catch a lot of guys. What people don't see is consistently catch in the off season. I'm always catching pens, lives, everything. So just trying to stay motivated that way as a player. It's kind of that fine line of where I try and separate myself as a player and as a coach, and just try and continue to go forward and wherever it leads me, it kind of leads me in a sense. Um, but yeah, it's still trying to get to that ultimate goal. I mean, that's what motivates me the most. And in terms of indie ball jobs, it's for that next guy, that next player, that next, that next big leaguer that we might find. And if it wasn't for indie ball jobs, they wouldn't be playing. So that's kind of keeps us motivated and yeah, and in my coaching career, just helping my indie ball jobs players as a coach as well, because for High Point, we have signed in 2023. We signed 19 Indy Ball Jobs players from our events, which by far is the largest amount for any team to sign. But obviously, we have the access to do it, and I really try and take those guys under my wing. I know a lot of them will not last with the Rockers, whether it's the whole season or whatever the case is, but try and leave them with something to remember for their next stop or their next place or wherever they might go. So yeah, just a little bit of everything and just keep pushing forward.
Nice. I wanted to ask because I imagine you see a variety of different types of people, whether it is players who just graduated from college, D1, D2, D3, whatever it would be, or players who didn't even go to college. Possibly, you see those guys too, and then even I'm gonna go out and guess guys that maybe are a couple years after they graduated college, even. So, what's that look like? Your mixture of people who attend these showcases.
It's definitely a mixture of just about everything. But it doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter where you played in college. It doesn't matter if you can play ball and you can play at the next level. We're going to help you. Um, Even for the guys that played in college 3, 4, 5 years ago that for whatever reason stopped and they want to make a comeback. If they can play and they showcase well, we're going to help you. It has nothing to do with the background, but we do get a little bit of everything. I mean, I'm going through every player that signs up, and I make a scouting report for every manager and coach that's there, so they can kind of see. And I, yeah, it's definitely a mixture. And we'll have some guys from some big Power Five schools, big Power Five colleges, all the way down to guys that played at small Division threes or NAIAs and JUCOs, and we've helped guys from every single level. I mean, I don't know if that's an accurate stat, but if I look at it, I'm sure we've helped somebody from each level of college get to the professional level. So it's not just the D1 players. However, with that being said, you still have to have the talent. I always tell those guys. Obviously, I'm always rooting for them at the event. I'm always going to root for each and every guy that's there, and I hope that they showcase well, and I hope that they stand out some way for us to remember. Obviously, that can't be the case for everybody, but yeah, it doesn't matter what level it is. If you can play, and we're looking for that talent and somebody to represent us well.
Awesome. What
Just to, I noticed. I know you just said that you get all kinds of players from different backgrounds and stuff, but in terms of the 9 positions, is there like one that you get more of than others, or is it kind of mixed
I
that you
don't
get
know.
a decent?
I don't know if it's because of the logo, but we have gotten a bunch of catchers signed, and they've all gone on to have really good careers. We've definitely found a lot of pretty good catchers, man, and yeah, I really don't know if that's because of the logo or if I'm a catcher, if I'm being biased by any chance. But yeah, if you look into all our players that we've gotten some really, really good catchers signed. And that includes Frank Nigro, who's in AAA now with the Twins. And, you know, uh, I referenced Tyler Blum before and Jimmy Costin and a bunch of these guys, these were guys that we got an opportunity that, hey, it might be a week or it might be 2 weeks that you're signed, and then that's it. And then it's kind of on yourself. But now they're going on year 2, year 3, year 4 of professional baseball. So definitely the catchers on our alumni side stand out for sure.
it might have something to do.
I was hoping to hear first baseman because I played first base all throughout my whole life. I was like, I hope he says first baseman. You gotta show some love for my first baseman,
We've
specifically
had
left-handed first baseman.
yeah, we've had a couple good ones, but definitely we've had a bunch of catchers, a bunch of them.
It's a pretty gritty position, I'd say. It could be something to do with it. Those guys seem to just have either a little more heart or they work a little harder than. No offense to the other positions, but in general, that's just something I've seen from either playing, little league in high school the whole way. I'm sure through Major League Baseball too. You hear it a lot. So
And
that's
I guess there's
awesome. I
a
would,
there's some more injuries, I guess, and there's more. Every team's always looking for a catcher. Even if you're not
yeah.
looking for a catcher, if somebody's referring you a really really good catcher, you're gonna entertain the idea of bringing them in, even even if you don't have the spot or the room for it. So it's definitely it's a grueling position. I played it for a long time, but yeah, we've done a good job with it, and it's easy, it's easy to get a catcher signed, but then give credit to these guys. They're doing a really good job playing and sticking around and making the most of their opportunity.
Yeah. So whether it is a catcher or any other position, I want to close with this. What piece of advice would you give to anybody else sitting at home watching this, or anybody else who's thinking about maybe signing up for one of your showcases? What kind of advice would you give to them?
Just just come in, just be yourself. Let your talent do all the talking, and if you're lucky enough to get an opportunity and play, just make the most of it and enjoy it, because it is a privilege to be at the professional level. Uh, it, but it's not given to you either, and it could be taken away at any moment, even in a day. So just enjoy every single second of it. I do have a quick story. I had stopped playing in 2014. That was my last year playing. That was in Spain. Um, you know, at that time in my life, I thought I was going to play for a few more years. I had gotten more offers in Europe. I was ready to go out there and do it. I ended up hurting my shoulder and getting shoulder surgery, so I never played again after that. I went on the coaching side, started bullpen catching, and it wasn't until 2021 when I was 30 years old, and I was the bullpen coach of the Rockers and the bullpen catcher of the Rockers. And we had a couple of injuries, and I was activated and signed. And I actually got to go into a few games, and I was activated for over a month. And just, you know, I never thought I'd be able to play again. But I guess with experience and getting older, I was really to really sit down and really enjoy that last ride there, and really have no pressure whatsoever. And I'm super grateful to have that opportunity, and grateful for my manager, Jamie Keefe, who's a part of IndyBall Jobs and helped me start it, and who's still my manager to this day with the Rockers. Um, but that was the greatest and most proud moment of my career, my own personal playing career. And I wish that I would have had that mindset when I was younger playing and just enjoying it. So that's my biggest advice to the guys. If you're lucky enough to get an opportunity, you don't know how long that opportunity is going to last, and don't think for a second that, oh, I can still play for another 5-6 years. You just don't know. Um, you know, baseball, it'll recycle you real quick. So if you're in it and you're playing, just enjoy the ride. That's it.
Yeah. So somebody who wants to apply now, they watch this video, they want to apply. What should be their next step?
Yeah, just up on IndyBall Jobs on Instagram, and ask. We'll send you the link, and on the link it has everything that we do at the showcase. So always day one is kind of like your typical showcase style. Um, and then day two, we go into live simulated games. So just be prepared to showcase yourself and just try and stand out somehow. There's 80 to 100 guys trying to get the same spot or the same opportunity. So you're gonna have to stand out some way. And if you have a cool story or whatever to stand out, like I said, I'm approachable and I'm all ears. So um, yeah, and not just us guys. I don't want to just say, oh, only Indy Ball Jobs, but there are other organizations out there, other tryouts, other showcases. Maybe you came to our event and you had a bad day. There might be another event in a couple weeks down the road, where you'll have a better day. So if that happens and you get signed and we see each other on the field, come say hello anyway, and I'm happy for you. And it's not just us. There are other good organizations and good people out there in baseball that can help you out as well.
Awesome, man. So, Bert, we appreciate your time and you sitting down with us. And if anybody out there, if you're thinking about it, I mean, hey, you got an itch to play baseball, and now you're watching this video for a reason. You probably should consider it. Send Bert a message on IndyBall Jobs at Instagram there, and good luck to you guys. And that's going to be it for our special little interview here. So, like I said, thank you, Bert, for your time, and we'll see you guys later. See ya.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.